Hi, my name is Courtney Harris, and this is my transference reflection for Google and Education. So the first stage we are going to talk about is the exploration stage. When I was first creating my academic plan for my completing my Master's of Science in Instructional Technology, I was most excited to take MIT 814 Google and Education. The first thing I thought was that we would kind of review those most common Google tools. When I think of most common Google tools, I think is like Google Slides and Google Docs, Google Forms, stuff like that. And then once we've reviewed those tools and been introduced to them, I believe that we would then learn how to kind of leverage them in the classroom and how to help create a collaborative learning environment. While I knew this course was going to provide me with a lot of helpful information, I thought I would be very familiar with all the Google tools that were reviewed. When the course first started and I was looking over the course schedule, I was excited about the different learning opportunities available to us and the way we were able to customize our learning to fit our needs. For instance, being able to choose an option for assignment 6. The next stage we're going to talk about is going to be that explanation stage. This course met my expectations and introduced me to many different tools that I have not previously heard before, such as Google Keep. As I mentioned earlier, I thought I was going to be familiar, but there were tools that I haven't heard of. Another tool I was unfamiliar with was Google Spaces. I know it kind of recently switched from Google Currents to Google Spaces, so I know that's kind of the new thing as well. However, in my position, we do not utilize the traditional learning management system, such as Canvas or Blackboard or Google Classroom. So I was excited to learn about a tool that could help me kind of create a collaborative environment for my learners, such as Google Spaces. So being able to interact with other learners or being able to just share something that they created. However, as I was taking the course, I discovered that my organization does not allow the use of Google tools due to security reasons. On the other hand, Google had many training courses about teaching in general, so I could utilize those courses to help enhance my instruction and how to incorporate those collaborative tools. Lastly, at my organization, we do have tools that are similar to Google tools, so I can transfer a lot of that knowledge using those tools. So the next stage we have is that conjecture stage. My question for it is, how can I create a collaborative learning experiences similar to Google Workspace with the tools I have available to me? Based on my experience with this course and my organization, I was wondering how I can create those kind of collaborative tool experiences with the tools I have available to me. One of my favorite aspects of Google Workspace is the ability to collaborate and the ability to communicate in so many different ways. So whether you're communicating directly on the chat, in the Google Doc, leaving comments for each other, or using Google Spaces to kind of assign those tasks, or just really communicate like we did for our group project that we completed for this course. Currently, my organization does utilize Microsoft 365 to create and share documents, but from my observations, I have noticed that the associates don't exactly understand how to use those collaborative features that are available to them. For instance, I've shared a document through Microsoft OneDrive with an individual, and that individual will then download it, make changes on that document itself, and then save it and then resend it back to me. So instead of using that kind of cloud feature of being able to work at the same time or leaving comments, so that way there's not 20 different files of the same information. So that is helping others understand how to utilize those collaborative features would be an obstacle I have to overcome. Next is the analysis stage. When I discovered that my organization does not allow the use of Google Workspace, I was very disappointed because Google and Education was the class I was most interested in when I enrolled in the instructional technology program. Learning this about my organization kind of lessened my excitement about this course because I was unsure how I could apply that information to this current position I'm in. But as I've mentioned before, like as I continued, I realized there's so many of technology tools that are available that will help create those similar collaborative experiences for learners, no matter the system being used. So this helped me regain my excitement towards the course and helped me utilize my critical thinking skills of how I was going to apply this knowledge to a different system. Next, we have the synthesis stage. So to help my organization understand the collaborative features of Microsoft 360, I will first create a presentation on the importance of collaboration and learning and how to use Microsoft 360 to create those collaborative experiences. This presentation would be similar to assignment 1 for this course. So talking about why Google is important or why we should go to Google. From there, I would work with my colleagues to develop and implement collaborative experiences for our learners. My first focus would be on incorporating the collaborative tools into the onboarding process because then the new associates would be exposed to the tools, and I believe they would then implement them more into their professional role. Additionally, I would like to incorporate collaborative tools into the e-learnings I create because I believe that it would expand the learning experience. For instance, after an e-learning is completed, the information is not revisited unless the learner actually goes in intentionally and tries to access it. However, with collaborative tools, new information could be added by other learners and their experiences about the topic. So they could revisit the information, and it might be even slightly different from when the first time they revisit it, and it actually helps them with the information, and it could be beneficial to their current position. So that is my transference reflection. I have also included a Google Doc that kind of goes more in depth with everything as well.